guys have probably been wondering where this truck has been for like the last year, and it's been hiding inside Gabe's shop because Brandon got bored with it and didn't want to finish it, but now he does because it's winter time, I'm cold, I need something to do. So load this up on the gooseneck, take it to the shop, and throw coilovers on it, sway bars, and it'll be done. So let's get this thing loaded up and should be driving it very soon, hopefully.
We're not gonna trade. I'll give you my ramps if I get to take your winch. Because I need a winch for both my ramps.
Alright, done deal. Run this truck right off the side of the trailer. Watch. Go ahead, 'cause it's about to fall off. Keep going.
The wheel's turning. Oh my god. Dude, it's literally like 3 inches from falling off the trailer.
See, the problem is the back tire is about to fall off the ramp, and that's not able to happen. Go ahead.
I was tripping for nothing.
Truck's loaded up, and now we can install the coilovers on it, which are actually right back here. Coilovers are right there. We got some brand new rad flows for it in the box. These coil springs are off one of Gabe's trucks. He's in there filming, but he didn't see me take them, so I threw them in my back seat because they'll be better on this truck because they've been laying around with him for like 3 years, and I'll put them to good use.
At least that didn't go flying into the tailgate or something.
Yeah, or through the window of the box. Yeah. So now it's time to take the Bobcat and somehow move the Mega Cab into the shop without damaging it. So this should be pretty fun. We got the Mega Cab into the shop, and first things first, what we have to do on it is get the front end complete. All it needs is the coilovers bolted onto it, and then the front sway bar built, and then the drag link needs to be custom bent so it bends around the sway bar. We have to somehow make a bracket right here to hold an external shock because right now it has the stock hole inside the frame to hold like a regular shock, but I made a bracket on the bottom that the coilover hooks up to right here. And then off to the side, the other shock will sit. So it'll have two shocks on the front. Unlike my big truck, how it has just the one coilover. Personally, I think this will look a lot better having the coilover on one side and an external shock on the other side. Sway bar will mount right here off this gearbox brace, come down, up and over with a nice big link. I might do custom fabricated CNC sway bar links. Haven't decided yet on that because normally I just do the tubing that goes from the sway bar arm down to the axle with the bracket and the heim joint on each end. But this thing has been sitting for about 6 months now, and it's winter time, and I want to get it done because I don't like being outside inside this 20-degree weather every day, let alone being inside the snow. So now we have the shop to work on it in a nice heated environment. So what we have already for the truck is all the coilovers, springs. I have to still order springs for the rear because I wanted to get the front on its own weight first, and that'll let me adjust what kind of springs I want to do inside the rear. I'll probably do like a softer riding spring inside the rear just so it doesn't ride like a brick. And obviously we're not going to be towing with this truck because how are you going to tow with a literal 40-inch lifted monster truck? Personally, I think this truck's going to be way bigger than my dually because I don't remember my dually being this tall on stock wheels. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen my big truck on stocks, but we're going to get the coilovers out of the box, get those things laid out over there, get the springs onto them. And we also have something right here that's going to look very, very good on this truck. And no, it's not a 20-inch wheel. So we have these mini rad flows that would have looked good on the truck had Brandon lifted it to a normal height, not a literal monster truck height, because now, as you can see, the shock is way too short. That's all the way extended with the shock, and I need like double this to be able to put this on. So these shocks won't work, but maybe we'll just slap them on something else. The Mega Cab. What do you think, Ethan? The Mega Cab? Yeah? These go on the Mega Cab. So we'll hide these to the side so I can stash them away for the Mega Cab build. We have a 600 lower spring. I think that's a 500 upper spring. And we have the old rear springs off of my big dually. Another 500 spring. And right here we have a box inside of a box. And here we have another 500 lower spring. We'll probably end up running these two springs on the lowers of the shocks and these two springs on the uppers. And that kind of gives you guys a representation of how big the coilover is. Don't mind it being mixed mesh. I've had springs laying around forever, and now's a good time to use them up. But eventually they will be all powder coated. So now the good part. 2 boxes of very nice, probably honestly my favorite coilovers that are on the market. Right here, these look like the 14s. Yeah, these two are the 14s. The 212s. So I built the truck to have a 14-inch travel in the front and a 12-inch travel in the rear. So once we get the front done, we'll be able to put these rear ones on. They'll bolt in just like this. We'll probably run this reservoir with a different fitting up over the top, or we'll mount the reservoir somehow on the back of the frame right there. Whatever looks good when the time comes for that. But first things first, we're going to have to hook up the coil springs to those shocks, and then we'll be able to slap the coilovers on the front. So that gives you a comparison of how big these front shocks actually are. I'm like 7'8", and the shock goes halfway up my body. So I'm probably gonna put this upper spring on it because I have 2 sets of upper springs. So these 2 are uppers, and this one's an upper, but this one's about 2 inches smaller, which will give me some adjustability inside the front. I can use these 2 for uppers in the rear with a smaller lower shock to the rear. That way I can do like 4 inches up with the truck or 4 inches down with the truck. I'm probably gonna have to go 4 inches down with it because it's absolutely massive. And I wanna be able to drive this one when it's done, not get pulled over every 5 minutes like my big truck. So that spring's on. Now we're gonna slide the spacer inside there. Slide this spring on. Slide this on. Gotta put this little clip on here, and surprisingly, this little clip is what holds the whole truck up, which has never made sense to me, but somehow it does. So now, she'll stand the shock up. And just like that, the front coilovers are put together. And now those things can get thrown into the front. Now we're gonna somehow figure out how to lift this truck up and get the coilovers on it, because the truck has to go up about 15 feet in order to do that. So I think we're gonna have to grab the Bobcat and some 2x4s and pray that we don't drop the truck. Let's hope this goes as planned. We probably should have done this on the lift, but we didn't, and now that's what we have to work with. So far, so good. As long as it doesn't slide. Okay, right there, we should be able to get the coilovers on it. And the truck is definitely just hanging by itself. Yeah, we still gotta go up. Actually, probably just adjust this right now. I'll just crank this up and push the shock up, because I don't have to get into that Bobcat and lift it any higher, because I'm afraid right now, with the strap leaning out, the truck's gonna want to slam forward, and I really don't want that to happen. One corner of the truck is tight. Now we can put this bottom bolt for the shock in, and we're in the safe zone. Hopefully it sits where I want it to sit. So we got the front coilovers on, and as you guys can see, I lowered the front down about 4 inches, just because I want to be able to drive this truck, and with lowering it down 4 inches, it has a way better panhard angle, and the steering angle should be a lot better too, especially with this custom high steer thing that we had machined out of chromoly. So now we gotta get sway bar drops, mock up the sway bar. Then once we get the sway bar drops, this will mount right there. It'll have an arm that comes from that bracket right here up and over. I'll have to build a little adapter to hook up a heim joint to right there. But once the front's all done, I can go ahead and get the rear lowered down. I'm thinking I'm gonna go the same 4 inches lower inside the rear. Once I get the dummy shocks off and get it to set down, I'll have a way better visual of how the truck will sit. To sum it up, coilovers are on. I just designed the sway bar arms, ordered some more heim joints, went ahead and picked up a stick of tubing to make the front links for now, because personally I think all the tubing up front will look better than doing the fabricated arm like I thought. And tubing has a lot more strength than just a couple 1/4 inch plates welded together. I have to find where I put the overlays for the rest of the truck, because over the past 8 months stuff kind of got scattered for this truck. So once we find the overlays, we will put those on the passenger side. I think all the driver's side outside overlays are already on the truck. But with that being said, it's going to end today's video. This thing should be absolutely insane when it's done, and I cannot wait to get it on wheels and tires, get the rear on coilovers, and drive this thing for the first time. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.